with the dry spring that we've had over most of Oklahoma, indications are that hay supplies this year will be very, very tight, and therefore hay will be expensive. That hay that we do put up this spring, we need to take good care of it so that we get the maximum out of it next winter when we're going to feed it. Our friends at the University of Tennessee recently did a study on storage methods of large round bales. Now granted, Tennessee has a higher rainfall on the average than does Oklahoma, but I think some of this research is of value to our producers here. You see, they looked at putting the big round bales just out in the open on the ground, just like this one. Also, they compared that with putting the big round bale uncovered, but up on some old tires to get them off the ground. That is one way that they looked at, compared to putting the round bale on the ground, but covered with a tarp. In addition, they looked at putting big round bales both on tires and covered with a tarp, as well as actually putting the big round bales in a barn. And as they compared the loss of hay from the time they harvested in June until they fed it in January, there was tremendous differences. In the case of big round bales that were just left out in the open on the ground, they lost 37%. By putting them up on tires and getting them off the ground, or by putting a tarp over them but leaving them on the ground, it dropped to 29%. Those two were the same. If you did both, put them up off the ground on tires and covered them, it dropped to 8% loss between June and January. And of course, the Cadillac system would be to put them in a barn, and only 6% loss. The one other method that they looked at was like we see some of these bales behind me that had the net wrap. They were kind of moderate, and their loss was 19%. So as we're putting up hay this spring and summer, realizing that it's probably going to be in short supply and it's going to be very expensive, we want to do the best we can at trying to preserve as much of this hay to have it ready to feed those cows next January and February, so that we're saving as much money as possible as we're putting this hay up this spring and summer. We hope this helps you in the process of doing your haying chores this year, and hopefully we'll save a few dollars by preserving as much hay as possible. We look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow Calf Corner.